I loved it, but
Yeah.
I love being locked down. I was like, great.
So I went through a rough time just before I bought an house in December before COVID came in, and then I split up in my relationship, and I remember moving in on the 31st of January, and I just thought, Mike, I've always been with someone. Me, I've never felt like I've ever been
It's not been
on my
so
own.
incredibly
Yeah, like
fine.
I'm
So
married for 20 odd years, and I remember, and I've never lived on my own ever. And I remember moving into my house, and I just sat there, and it was just an house that were it and me,
mm,
and I was just thinking, God, is this my life?
mm.
Is this what's happened to me? You know what I mean? But I mean, I had bought an house, and I should be like pretty. What's the word? Should be pretty
Proud, elated,
proud. Yeah, that
happy,
I'd actually, we.
not pissed off. That's for
Yeah,
sure. Yeah.
and that was probably one of the worst. And I was setting up Chrysalis then as well. So I was writing my website, and I was writing about suicide, and it kind of like started having a bit of effect on me. And I remember going up to Newcastle to see some of my team, and like I just like crying on A1, and I'm like, what the hell's going on here? Couldn't understand it because I've never been like that. I've always had a bit of anxiety, but and then I remember I was at Sporting Lodge Hotel, and I always remember it. And I woke up one morning, and I thought I can't do this anymore, and I rang my sister, and that's when I started to I went and got some counselling to find out what
Yeah.
was going on.
Yeah.
But what I realised is that they gave me tablets, sertraline, yeah,
I've had them all, mate. None
yeah,
of them work.
and honestly, they told me that there might be some side effects, and there's all this massive list of all these side
It's
effects.
obscene.
Yeah, and honestly, I took them, and I just wanted just to
End it all. Yeah.
end it all. It were
Is that what the
unbelievable.
tablets were
That
making you
were the
feel?
tablets. They
I had
magnified it by about a
yeah.
million times.
So
Citrulline
how
was
can is that like your GP
So
that's giving you them?
what it is that they, for whatever reason, the way that they work, the chemistry of them, they tend to increase depression in the short term, and then over long term they decrease them. Although to be fair, there's a plethora of research that shows absolute bullshit, and they're just basically placebos. But not to discount placebo effect because it does work.
Mm.
Mm.
But citrulline was the only one I've taken that made me the only time I've ever been sectioned, as it were. Like I wasn't actually sectioned, but I had to go to like the York mental health place.
All
You know,
right, yeah,
the people from
yeah.
there came and shit because my wife was concerned. But it was the first 2 or 3 weeks taking citrulline, and I was just like, I remember one night she'd gone singing. I remember her like being really trepidatious, like leaving because she could see I was just sitting, just fuck this shit, and you know, and yeah, then I think she came home early in tears, like she's like, I couldn't leave you, and I was like, fuck this shit. Still, so she called some people and stuff and got sorted. But yeah, that was fucking awful, awful stuff.
Yeah, it is, and and that's one of the things that I work with people now is if anybody comes to see me because we also do awareness days. You might have seen me. We go all over North Yorkshire. We've done it all through summer. Go to agricultural shows,
Yeah, yeah.
and we have men coming over to talk to us and stuff like that. You can see them like walking past looking at us, and
Yeah.
then they'll come in when there's no one there, and they'll have a chat. And
Such silly buggers, aren't we?
yeah, and it's like you can see him, and then he'll come in and he'll go in. Oh, I think you're doing a great job. And we work with a lot of people that do take tablets because there's a
Of course,
downside to it is that yeah, you want to it magnifies it so much and you feel like you're not in control, but then you start feeling better, and then you stop taking them, and that's not for everyone, but for people that I've had, that I've worked with.
Oh, for sure. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I think that for a lot of people, it's helped. Medications helped them, but didn't help me one way.
Mm.
Like, they do work for some people.
Yeah,
But like you said, the problem is that um, once you start feeling better, people do stop taking them, and then they get not only the ramifications of that for their mental health, but also they start getting withdrawal from the medication.
yeah, absolutely, yeah,
So I'm only advocating for um, looking at other things that could help other than doctors giving you tablets. Like that's the like. I don't think people should not take the tablets if they need their tablets. I just think that there's so many different ways we could deal with it better than taking tablets
mm.
because the side effects are fucking mental
Yeah,
and the withdrawal's fucking harsh. I've withdrawn from quite a few meds, and it ain't fucking fun.
no,
Like you just don't sleep ever. It's not. You don't feel good. It's not like a fun thing to do. So
No.
don't. If you are on meds, don't stop taking your goddamn.
No,
meds.
absolutely. Just get in contact with me and I'll talk you through them.
Yeah. Speak to your doctor, and don't stop taking them.
It's like, I think, a lot of kids get prescribed like medication these days, and the parents are none the wiser. So any parents have got any questions, this is your man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we do have a lot of people that come along and they've stopped taking them and they're feeling a lot worse than what they were, but they felt better when they were taking them, but then they don't realise about the effects that you have when you're taking them. And I kind of like it's really strange how it happened to me, because I started to build Chrysalis and start doing the website and all that kind of stuff, but then I ended up living it as well. Going through. Been on sertraline, and it's kind of like somebody were like, yeah, you got to go through it to be able to do it, and it happened to me.
Yeah.
What's the website again?
It's www.chrysalispreventionagainstsuicide.co.uk.
We'll have that across the bottom of the screen.
Just put Chrysalis in, because it's a mouthful. Is that?
you
It comes
spell-
up at top.
How do you spell chrysalis? Because it took me a few.
CH.